Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries. Welcome to Babs's Bungalow. My name is Barbara, and today is the official launch day for Mortal Kombat 1. At least as of this video going up, it will be. Which is exciting stuff! I mean, I got 5 days early access, but I have been so stoked for the rest of you guys to get in on this and play the game. It is super fun. One of the big things for this game is the Kameo system, a separate roster of fighters that you can use to call in for various assists. From Kano's knife toss to Sonya's leg grab to Kung Lao's teleport. All of these moves provide a huge critical edge for your fighter in Mortal Kombat 1. And today we're going to be taking a look at one of my personal favorites and longest used Kameo since I used her in the beta, Frost. And what she brings to the table, and what exactly allows Frost to, well, compete with the rest of the Kameos in Mortal Kombat 1. So, let's go over that a little bit, shall we? How exactly will we be breaking this down? Well, we will be going into the practice menu and focusing on all of the Kameos' moves and what they can do, and thus bring to the table for you specifically. And we will also see how all of the Kameo attacks have been affected for this particular first episode. And then so what we will always be doing is that once we have selected our character, in this case we're going to do Johnny Cage versus General Shao with Frost and Jax. Now, the first order of business is that different Kameo characters provide a different amount of health. Frost does not change your character's health value at all, which is actually pretty solid.
The tea house.
Especially if you have a higher health character like General Shao, for instance. So, let's talk a little bit about who Frost is. Now, Frost is a character from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and she is... A lot of people consider her to be female Sub-Zero with not a lot of substance. They tried to reinvent her in Mortal Kombat 11 as a cyborg, but now she is back to being a Lin Kuei initiate with all of her sass and aggression that you could ever hope for. Now, very quickly overviewing the Kameo system. The Kameo system is mapped generally to the R1 button or the right bumper button, depending on which console you're playing it on. And you just summon the Kameo by pressing the button. But you can only do up to 2 attacks before the Kameo bar is empty. Now, the Kameo bar will fill on its own time, so you don't have to worry at all about finding some way to regenerate it, unlike the meter system in this game. So, what exactly can Frost do? What does Frost bring to the table that helps her stand out as a Kameo fighter? Well, first off, she actually is one of a few characters where all of her attacks are what are known as summon attacks. Note how Johnny Cage poses whenever Frost is using an attack. That is called a summon attack, and it effectively acts as a Kameo special move. So a good example of this would be if you were to input Johnny Cage's Shadow Kick. Well, that's how you get that move in a combo. And if you do so with Frost attacks, you get a similar result. Here's the thing, however. Some Kameo attacks actually can act independently. None of Frost's attacks can do that. But when we get to a character that can, that will be worth a deeper dive in how the fact that you can move freely while using certain assists can provide a massive advantage in combat. So, as you might have noticed, Frost has a couple of ways to freeze the opponent. By pressing forward and the Kameo button, you get this low freeze. A full screen, low freezing attack that allows you to continue combos. As you can see in this hypothetical example here. So, it's very handy for extending combos, particularly for characters that don't have very many grounded combo extenders of their own. Unlike Johnny Cage, who has a meter launcher. And this is just one example of what Johnny Cage could do on his own. But we're focusing on Frost for this episode. back and Kameo allows Frost to summon this homing ice ball, which hits mid and, yes, freezes the opponent for a full combo. And as you can see, it being slow has its advantages, because you can set it up and then allow the Frost to hit off of a throw in order to continue combos and the like. But note how slow it is. You're obviously going to get clocked unless you press down twice to cancel the attack. Frost literally zips away, and she will recover much faster than if she actually fired off the attack. Next up, we have her ice fall attack. A very quick mid that knocks down. This doesn't look like much, but if I'm not mistaken, Ice Crash is an invincible wake-up. It's definitely plus on block, so for your pressure, this is actually a solid attack to look into. For this, I'm just going to make an overcommitting General Shao. Okay, so here we go. As a get-up, it's a good way to get the opponent off of you. But if you hold the Kameo button, Frost does this punch walk attack that puts the opponent full screen. Great for zoners, and great for keeping rushdown characters away. And this is a pretty tidy combo ender, too. Especially if you have a character that leaves the stun long enough for the punch walk to actually connect, thus forcing the character back to full screen. So, who does Frost benefit the most? Well, Frost benefits characters who might need combo tools or setup tools in order to enforce pressure. She also provides a handy quick way of taking your turn back on block that can also harass the opponent in short range. And if the opponent is crafty, can force the opponent back to full screen for full screen shenanigans. So I want to highlight this by showing off a few characters I think Frost works particularly well with. The first is not Johnny Cage. It's actually Melina. Because Melina has some very good tricks to take advantage of Frost's unique tools. So, one of Melina's tools is her ball roll, which is a mid launcher that is practically full screen. Well, in the case that Melina needs to either keep an opponent grounded or needs to move in for a setup, she can use the ice ball, then do the ball roll and move in to punish from there. She can also use her Sai to help cover the projectile moving in. She also has a unique trick where, for 2 bars of meter, Melina can throw her Sai full screen and stun. What's really handy about this in particular is once this lands, because of how far the opponent is, there isn't much that you can really get off of this. Most of the time, what you're going to be ending this with is a roll into whatever you want, as an example. But of course, if Frost actually is Melina's Kameo, then she could potentially come in and freeze the opponent. Now, unfortunately, you don't get too much because of the low angle, but that provides an example. She also has 2 different teleports, a rising teleport and a teleport kick. This allows her to get in no problem, but also means that this means that she can get in. But she can also use Frost to her advantage by using the setup tool, then teleporting in to force the opponent to block one or the other. And if they block both, well, Melina can be at full advantage and throw the opponent. Which, forward throws, always use your Kameo. If the Kameo is not currently available, Melina will actually shove the opponent back in order to create some frame advantage. Another thing one thing in particular that helps Melina is that she has her air homing ball, which if done in the air, can be charged into a huge launcher. But of course that leaves Melina open, unless you got Frost's homing sphere, and which Melina can fully charge this ball no problem. Of course, Frost also can use her punching attacks on block to help enforce pressure and force the chip back. One good thing about Melina is that a lot of her animations are very long and flashy. Lots of stabbing as you can imagine. And lots of grabs and things. So Frost, if she were to use a combo, just a basic example, now if he were to land any of her extended moves, the Kameo would come back faster, allowing Frost to hit the field quicker, thus allowing her to assist Melina more frequently. Another character that I think Frost really benefits being with is, well, actually somebody you probably would expect.
Sub-Zero, General Shah, Frost, Jax, Wu Shi Kameo.
And why does Sub-Zero benefit? Well, naturally Sub-Zero has his own ability to freeze, and this is an example of doubling down on what a character can provide in order to make them twice as annoying. So, for instance, Deadly Vapors, this move freezes the opponent on impact. But remember, Frost has multiple ways to freeze the opponent. So what you could do is capitalize off of this in any, for instance, or if you want to use it in a really long, annoying combo to seal the round, and as you can see, it's not super practical, but it's a fun way to make a flashy combo happen. And if you don't have meter to freeze, well, Frost can provide it. So, as an example, now Sub-Zero always has combos. Can always have combos from anywhere because Frost recovers. Frost also has a fast wake-up attack, which normally Sub-Zero's armor is his slide, but if that's blocked, well, that's trouble. But if the opponent is expecting slide and blocks this instead, well, Sub-Zero's now +4, where he can enforce his own pressure, threaten the launch, or get this kind of fun damage. So, no meter. Super basic brain-dead example that I came up with just on the fly. And look, Frost is already almost fully cameoed back, so she could potentially come in and help again. Or if, let's say, you did this, the opponent somehow teleported in, and then you landed this as a combo. Well, now you can do it on your own with your own meter, and look, Frost is ready to go again. So you can alternate rapidly in order to enforce a dangerous combo situation, especially when you start learning other more optimal combo paths. Frost's chip ability here is really good because forcing him at full range gives Sub-Zero an ability to go for his Ice Ball, which not only hits the opponent and freezes, but if they try to throw a projectile, Meter Burn Freeze will blast right through it. So this can help, even if Frost ends with full screen, this helps benefit Sub-Zero because now Sub-Zero can move in and do whatever he pleases. And last but certainly not least, hold on a second, please. Who's the character I think Frost particularly benefits?
Kenshi. General Shock.
I think she could help Kenshi. Let's double check. Okay, there we go. So, why do I think Kenshi in particular benefits? Well, a lot of the things that Kenshi needs will require him to get into Sento stance, allowing him to puppeteer and move just however, to attack however he damn well pleases. Now, I'm terrible with puppet characters, so this is going to be embarrassing, but this should help prove a point of concept at least. By having this ice ball out, now Kenshi can summon his Kameo relatively safely, because even if the enemy wants to try and move in, they have to deal with the ice orb. Now, what if they think they can get clever and projectile? Frozen, and now I can move in. And if I was even closer, say in 4-2-2 range, I can even use this opportunity to just get the Sento Ghost out already. Now you might be thinking, well, what about Punch Block? Well, look at the frame advantage that I get. Now I have the Kenshi at full screen. Which, considering now that the ghost is in the way, things are going to get scary really fast. Now you might be thinking, well, okay, but what if Frost blocks it? You still get a good amount of chip damage and enough distance to potentially take this in. And of course, +4, now I have the stance out. So Kenshi is a very complicated character, but his Kameo shouldn't be. As long as they help him get into Sento stance so that he can go full puppet fighter, they will help. And Frost's setup potential and ability to push the opponent back is a huge critical edge that can help Kenshi really dominate the battlefield. And that, as far as I can tell, is pretty much it for this first installment. It's been a hot while since I've done a proper series, and I hope that this is just the beginning of a brand new thing. Well, I mean, you've seen the trailer, right? But all the same, even if it doesn't, even if there are better guides out there, and trust me, there probably are, I hope you've enjoyed this video all the same, and will continue to watch the rest of the series, because, I mean, hey, I would love to show off more cameos. So, don't forget to be awesome, my friends, and I'll see you guys on the other side.